Welcome to Cisco Center of Excellence at NHCE course Routing and Switching 2. So in today's lab we are going to see spanning tree protocol configuration. Spanning tree protocol is used to overcome the issues related to redundancy at layer 1 and layer 2. At layer 2 devices, which are switches and bridges, if there are redundant links, then the issues that are coming up are MAC database instability. That is, the MAC database table is unstable, there are no fixed entries in it. Broadcast storms, that is, there will be multiple packets present in the network which will cause the network disruption, and multiple frame transmission, that is, the destination will receive multiple or duplicate frames of the same message. The spanning tree algorithms aims at creating one logical path through the switch network. It will block the redundant links in the topology, and there will be only one main path existing. In case there is a failure of the main path, then the redundant link which has been blocked will be unblocked and will be available to establish the network connectivity. Spanning tree algorithm says that first we need to select a root bridge. The root bridge is selected as the switch which has the lowest bridge ID. So the bridge ID comprises of the priority followed by the VLAN ID followed by the MAC address. So the default priority on all the switches is 32768, and if we include the VLAN ID plus 1, so it becomes 32769. So this is the default priority which will be the MSBs of the bridge ID. So whichever switch has the lowest priority will become the root bridge. So we can modify this priority by our configuration. Then after the root bridge is selected, then the least cost path from every other switch to the root bridge is calculated. So in this case, if S1 is the root bridge, from S3 and S2 the least cost path to reach S1 will be calculated. Then we have to determine the port roles, which is the root port, designated port, and the blocking or the alternate port. These theoretical concepts have already been covered. Types of spanning tree protocols. There are 802.1d, which is the old version, and CST. We are going to look at PVST plus and Rapid PVST plus configurations. So the advantage with PVST plus is that we can have multiple instances for each VLAN. So for each VLAN there can be one spanning tree instance, and similarly for Rapid PVST plus also we can have for each VLAN a particular spanning tree instance. Whereas if you see the older version 802.1d CST, we had only one spanning tree instance for all the VLANs. This indicates that for all the VLANs there will be one root bridge, and the same root bridge will be applied to all the VLANs. Whereas in PVST plus, if we have two VLANs, so for VLAN 1 there can be one particular root bridge, for VLAN 2 there can be another root bridge. In Rapid PVST plus, the conversions is faster as compared to PVST plus. Conversions means the determination of the blocking port, alternating port, or the designated port, deciding on the root bridge, everything will be done faster as compared to PVST plus. If we look at MST, MST is multiple VLANs can have same spanning tree instance. So all like VLAN 10, 20, they can have the same spanning tree instance. So these theoretical concepts were seen, and today we will be seeing at Rapid PVST and PVST configuration. Also the port roles that were defined in PVST plus operation in the theoretical concepts are blocking port state, listening state, learning state, forwarding and disable state. So only in forwarding state the PPDUs, that is bridge protocol data units, which are used to determine the root bridge and the port roles, will be received. Also the data will be forward. Also it can be forward from the another interface of the switch, and it can also learn the MAC addresses. So all this can be done in forwarding state. In other states, there are some limitations. So let us come to the spanning tree configuration, that is the lab hands-on activity. So in this, the topology given to us comprises of 3 switches, switch 0, 1 and 2, and there are 3 PCs, and the requirements are that we have to configure S0 as VTP server and S1 and S2 as the clients. So VTP domain that is given to us is ECE department, and the VTP password given to us is Cisco. So remember that the server and the clients should be in the same domain name, and the password should also be same. Otherwise, from the server, clients will not be able to receive the VLAN information. Then we have to create the 2 VLANs on the server, which will be shared with the clients automatically. And then we have to do the DTP trunking. Then we have to assign the access ports to the correct VLANs as per the table given. Then configure the spanning tree mode rapid PVST, configure S0 as root primary and S1 as root for primary for VLAN 20, S2 as root secondary for both VLANs, and we have to configure port fast and BPDU card enable. So one by one we will see all these activities. Right? So let us go to the configuration in Packet Tracer. So we have this topology created, switch 0, 1 and 2, right? And the question says, the requirement says that first S0 has to be configured as VTP server with the domain name ECE department, and Cisco will be the password. So for VTP, while we are doing this, we will go here, enable, configure T, and then we will say VTP mode server, VTP domain. The domain name given to us in question is ECE-DEPT. So we'll use that, ECE-DEPT. So it is case sensitive. Please follow the document carefully. And now the password is VTP password given to us is Cisco. Right? So that is how we have configured the VTP server. Now switch 1 and switch 2 have to be configured as clients. So enable mode, configure T in the global configuration mode. We are going to set the VTP mode as client. VTP domain name should be same as that of the server to receive the messages. So it is ECE-DEPT, and VTP password is Cisco. Next, on switch 2 also we are going to make it as the client. So enable, configure T and VTP mode, client, VTP password, VTP domain is ECE-DEPT. Be very careful because this is case sensitive. If you don't do the same what is given in the question, then there will be a mismatch. Let's say on switch 0 you have given capital ECE and here you are giving small, then the domain mismatch will happen and it will not be able to receive advertisements from switch 0. Then VTP password should also match to receive the advertisements, Cisco. And now we have to create the VLANs on switch 0. So VLAN, we are creating 2 VLAN, VLAN 10, which is name is student. So given it, the question is student, and VLAN 20 is for staff. Right? So we have created these 2 VLANs. 20 is for staff and 10 is for student, right? So let us see so that the clients switch 1 and switch 2 receive this VLAN information, we need to configure the links as trunk. Okay, so we will go on to this particular switch and exit, and we'll say int range F0 by 1 to 4. If you see here, we have used 1 and 2 over here and 3 and 4 over here. So the interfaces which are connected between the switches should be trunking. So we will take 1 to 4 and we'll say switch port mode trunk, and we'll do no shutdown. That is power up the ports. Similarly, here on switch 2 also I am going to do the same. Int range F0 by 1 to 4 switch port mode trunk, and no shutdown. Similarly, here as well on switch 1, int range F0 by 1 to 4 switch port mode trunk, and no shutdown. So we can see we have completed. If you want to verify whether these switches have received the VLAN information, we can do the command show VLAN brief. So if you see the VLANs that we had created on switch 0, that is VLAN 10 student and VLAN 20 staff, is appearing on switch 2. Similarly, on switch 1 also we can verify the same, show VLAN brief. So 10 and 20 both are appearing on this, right? So we have created the VLANs. The next step is to assign the VLANs to the correct ports, right? So F0 by 8 on switch 0 belongs to VLAN 20, and on switch 1 and switch 2, F0 by 12 and 10 belongs to VLAN 10. Here it should be VLAN 10, and this should be root primary, right? Alright, let us go back to our configuration. So here switch 2, F0 by 10 should belong to VLAN 10. So remember, the edge ports are always, so we'll go to the global configuration mode. So the edge ports which is connected to the end devices, here in this case it is F0 by 10, they are always in access mode. They should always be in access mode. So switch port mode access, and then we have to assign this particular port to VLAN 10. Switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, and no shutdown. Similarly, here if you see, switch 1 F0 by 12 also belongs to VLAN 10. So we will type here configure T in the global configuration mode, int F0 by 12 switch port mode access, and switch port access VLAN 10, and no shutdown, right? Next on switch 0, if you see, we have a PC connected on F0 by 8 and it belongs to VLAN 20. So we will write we'll exit int F0 by 8 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN, and we'll get VLAN 20 over here, and no shutdown. So this is the VLAN and VTP which we had already seen. So now we are going to look at spanning tree configuration. So what is the spanning tree configuration? See, we could have had only PVST mode or rapid PVST. So we are taking rapid PVST mode over here, and we are going to configure this. On all the switches it is going to be rapid PVST, and switch 0 is root primary for VLAN 20. So here because priority is given, so we'll take it as priority. So I'm going to show you both how we can set a root bridge using the root primary command, or how can we set a switch as the root bridge by changing the priority. Okay, so S0 has to be set as root primary, that is the root bridge for VLAN 10. So as I told you, for each VLAN we can have a separate spanning tree instance. So for VLAN 10 we are saying S0 will be the root, for VLAN 20 S1 will be the root bridge. So here in S0 we'll come out of this interface mode. In the global configuration mode we will write spanning tree mode rapid PVST. You could have used only PVST if they would have given PVST. Okay, because it is given rapid PVST, we are writing rapid PVST. If it is given only PVST mode, so you can remove rapid, you can just write PVST, right? And then we have to say spanning tree VLAN 10 root primary. The command is quite simple, root primary. And then you can just simple command. Now it says that for switch 1 you have to make it as root by modifying its priority, right? By default the priority is 32769, right? So we are making the priority lower. So whichever has the lowest bridge ID, so priority are the MSB. So if the MSB, if I am reducing, then 32769, obviously 4096 is less than 32769. So this S1 will have the lower bridge ID for VLAN 20, not for VLAN 10 but for VLAN 20. We are creating another spanning tree instance for VLAN 20. So for that we go to switch 1 and we will come out of the interface mode, and in the global configuration mode we will write spanning tree mode rapid PVST. Then we are going to write spanning tree VLAN 20 priority, and whatever priority is given to us in question we are going to set it 4096. So we'll write 4096, right? So this is done. And for switch 2, for both the VLANs it should be the secondary root. In case the primary root bridge fails, then in that case switch 2 is capable of becoming the root bridge. So we will come out of the interface mode here and we will write spanning tree mode rapid PVST. Then we are writing spanning tree VLAN 10, 20 for both the VLANs. This is going to be root secondary. So the commands, if you see, are very simple, right? Now, after you have done this, we are supposed to configure BPDU guard and port fast. Why port fast? Because we had seen in our previous theoretical concepts that we have blocking mode, listening mode, learning mode, forwarding and disabled mode. So we do not want the access ports, that is the ports which are connected to the end devices, to undergo through these port states. We want them to directly move to forwarding state because these ports are not connecting the two switches. See over here, we do not want that this particular F0 by 10 to go through the learning phase or disable state. Okay, we directly want it to go to forwarding state. Learning mechanism for disabled, blocking, everything is meant for the links which are connecting the switches, that is F0 by 1 and 2 over here, 3 and 4 over here. It is not meant for the ports which are connected to the end devices. So this port we want directly to be moved to forwarding state because we may have done DHCP configuration where the IP address of this particular PC has to be dynamically got from the server. So to get the dynamically to get the IP address dynamically from the DHCP server, it has to send the broadcast message. So if this port is undergoing the various listening, learning port states, then this broadcast message will not be sent immediately and it will not receive the IP address immediately. So to overcome this, we want that F0 by 10 should skip all the intermediate listening, learning states and directly go to forwarding state, for which we have to do port fast. So we go to this particular interface, int F0 by 10, and we will say spanning tree port fast. Also on this particular interface, I will do spanning tree BPDU guard enable. Now why BPDU guard enable? Because we do not want that BPDU packets should come to the PC. There is no point sending any BPDU packet. BPDU packets are exchanged between the switches for the spanning tree algorithm, so that the root bridge can be selected, the port roles can be selected, which redundant port is going to be blocked, which port is going to be forwarding port, right? So that to make that decision, BPDU packets are being exchanged between the switches. So this BPDU packet need not go to the PC unnecessarily. Why to waste the bandwidth and the processing of the switch? Processing capability will be used of switch to send it up to this particular PC. So unnecessarily, to avoid all this processing, we can say that do not send any BPDU packet on the access port, which is F0 by 10. Therefore, we have used the BPDU guard enable. Similarly, on switch 1 also, int F0 by 12, we will do spanning tree port fast to move it directly into the forwarding state, and spanning tree BPDU guard enable. Similarly, on switch 0 also, we have to do int F0 by 8. So all the access ports have to be made port fast, as well as you need to enable the BPDU guard on it. So BPDU guard enable. Right? Now how do we verify it? To verify it, we can do show spanning tree. So if you see show spanning tree, we can see that there is VLAN 1, that is the default VLAN. So for VLAN 10, we have this bridge is the root. So switch 0 is the root bridge for VLAN 10. That is what we had configured, right? This is what we had configured. And you can also see the port roles. What are the port roles? Which is the designated port. These all are our designated port and all are in forwarding state. Okay. Similarly, here we can do show spanning tree. So we can see that for VLAN 20, this particular switch is the root bridge, right? And you can see F0 by 1 is designated port, that is the path towards the root. F0 by 2 is also designated port. F0 by 4. So all the root ports, the ports of the root bridge will be designated. See, F0 by 4 is alternating, which is blocking. The status is blocking. This particular is blocking. F0 by 3 is designated forwarding port. Okay, so we can see this particular port has been blocked. Similarly, you can go for switch 2, show spanning tree, and we can see that this is a secondary root bridge which will not be indicated over here. and we can see all the port roles. So here also F0 by 4 is the blocking port. Okay. So, but in this case, that this is blocking port only for VLAN 20, not for VLAN 10. So for VLAN 10, it is forwarding state. Right. So this is how you can verify the spanning tree algorithm. For any doubts, for queries, you can mail me at er.divyasharma@gmail.com. Thank you.